Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy and I make filmmaking tutorials right here on YouTube. And today we're doing something a bit different. We're going to be taking a look at my first client job, which was around about this time last year. We're going to have a look at what I think went well, what I learned, the mistakes I made, and how I do things differently. I was asked to make this video over in Marbella in Spain for a company that were running a competition to win a millionaire style lifestyle trip of a lifetime type holiday. So the prize included your private flights, your accommodation, access to all the exclusive clubs, food, drink, spending money, the full luxury package, and this is what we were trying to portray in the promotional video. So for me it worked out quite well. I wasn't paid for the gig, however I did get to stay in the villa that you see in the video. I did get all my meals in the top restaurants, paid for, access to the clubs and all the food and drink you can eat while trying to, do the job. So all in all, it was a great weekend. It was shot over 3 or 4 days, I think, I can't remember. But it was a once in a lifetime trip. There's a lot of things I learned, a lot of things I could have done differently, and if I was to go back and do it again, there's certainly would do things differently. But that's basically what this video is about. It's about going out, doing videos, agreeing to do things for clients, getting the experience, making the mistakes, learning from those mistakes and moving on. And that's what I want to show you in this video. The video turned out okay. I'm quite happy with it. However, obviously one of your first gigs, you're going to make mistakes, and that's what I want to show you today. And it's okay to fail. That's the only way to learn. So let's take a look and see how the video goes.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Baby, now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. All night. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
Let's take a look and see how the video goes. Okay, I genuinely do like the intro to the video. It was meant to be quick and snappy, get a quick taste of what was all going to be in the video to show the holiday or the competition prize. The timing's maybe a bit iffy, but generally I did like it. Also, the first thing we did before we even started shooting was to pick a song. All the music that we went through came from Epidemic Sound, and this was just the song that happened to be, you know, upbeat, party, beachy, just all round feel good kind of song. So let's have a look again. Okay, so very noisy shot of the plane, also shot in the wrong shutter speed. It's not in a high enough frame rate for the slow motion that we've just seen there. We also had a lot of bother getting this plane. This was shot about a month after the actual competition, and nobody really knew or expected us to be there, and then obviously trying to get into a private airport onto a private jet was a bit of a nightmare, but we managed. We couldn't get the plane to light up, so we only managed to get the kind of top lights on, and the rest is filled in with a small video light that I took with me. Nice plane though. So first drone shot, nice shot of the villa. However, we do have a glaringly obvious Wendy house down in the bottom left hand corner, which we in hindsight should have moved. A lot of zoom transitions, which I wouldn't do now, but I have the place, and as you can see just here, this was the first problem I ran into when I was filming, because I didn't have any ND filters whatsoever. I'm used to filming in Scotland where you can pretty much get by shooting video without an ND filter just by, you know, cranking up your aperture and bringing your ISO down. For the glum weather here, it's usually fine. However, out in Spain, a couple of problems with the sun actually. No ND filter. My sunglasses were polarised, which means I couldn't look at the screen whenever it was in vertical mode. And you know, I've had my aperture up at f22, I think, in order to bring down the brightness, but obviously that's now showing up all the kind of dust spots and dirty marks on the lens and sensor of the camera. So that was the first major lesson learned there, and the first purchase I made when I got back was an ND filter, a variable ND filter. That fridge stock was legit. They went and bought so much drink, which I think we, between us all, did get through for the most part. Some more than others, I might add, but you know, it was a good stock. This part of the video was what caused me the most anxiety. I was so far out of my comfort zone filming in Portobello. You know, all the designer shops, I'm standing there with a gimbal, a camera, and eventually, you know, we went into the Gucci shop, as you're about to see. We filmed a couple of things in there. The security just sort of congregated round us. We left shortly after that, carried on filming up the street, and eventually were asked to leave by security. Yeah, they basically followed us all the way out the street, said we couldn't be filming with professional equipment, but we got a couple of shots, so. Again, a bit like the camera, the drone didn't have any ND filters either, so I think the shutter speed was cranked right up to like 2,000th of a second, which in hindsight I'd rather have done that with the camera than cranked the aperture up full. way overexposed. Might be worth noting that none of the actors or models in the video are professional at all. They're just people that the client knew that we brought with us, and you know, nobody really knew each other apart from the girls who are sisters. So we just had to work with what we had and hope that it turned out alright. I quite like that shot with the cut scenes between, you know, to the beat of the music, just kind of brought the story forward, I thought. And also this shot as we're about to see coming down the stairs, their foot on the steps should be in time with the music. I kid you not, the shot coming out of the house took about 15 to 20 minutes because nobody could work the door, nobody knew what order to come out in, and everybody had had a few drinks, and it just was a nightmare trying to get everybody out of that house. Now we're moving on to a barbecue scene, which is kinda goes on a bit long and is a bit pointless, but as a sequence on its own, it actually looks quite good. So you just see there, when we jump into the pool, we put a low pass filter onto the audio, so you get that kind of underwater sensation in the music. Might add that the champagne spray that you see here is mostly the cheap cava with the champagne labels over the top, although some might be champagne, I can't remember. Ooh, that was a fancy effect that I'd just sort of seen on YouTube somewhere and decided to pop it into this video to see how it would work. So we're now, the client wanted shots of this exclusive club which we didn't actually go to, so the shots here are kind of stock footage which are intertwined with our own footage to make up the kind of feeling that you're at the club. I've had to use a lot of lens flares and things to try and disguise it because it did have a very distinctly different look to our footage. Those dust spots look horrendous in this shot. Anyway. So a rewind effect just there to wrap up the video, just showing a couple of highlights of the full video. And then we're on to the entry details for the competition. So kind of X Factor style, not a big fan, but by this point I was scunnered with the edit. I'm just going to blur that out because I don't want anybody going to a website that's not there or trying to enter, which is even worse. So yeah, that's the video. First attempt, first big job. A lot of mistakes, a lot of good things, a lot of lessons learned, and definitely worthwhile giving it a go if you're ever offered to do any kind of job. I would say don't turn it down. Don't work for free if it's not going to benefit you in any way. You know, if it's something that's going to be good for your portfolio, or something that you want to practice, or something that you enjoy doing, then absolutely go for it, especially if you can get that into your portfolio and then maybe get more work down the line. I'd say I learned a lot of valuable lessons from this video and don't regret any of it. Sorry guys, have to apologise, my memory card filled up and the battery died all at the same time. Anyway, all I was saying was go out, shoot, make mistakes, learn from your mistakes. You have to fail to grow. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing if you're new here, and I will see you in the next one.